Hey everybody, this is Curtis, and welcome back to Let's Cast. I'm here with my co-host, Jeff.
Hey, how's it going?
And we have Lewis as our guest. MARIOCATGAMIng. Lewis, what's up, man?
Oh, Britannia, we rule the universe.
Oh my god.
I think we have to end it right now, I'm sorry.
Nope.
It's over.
In.
It's over.
Hello everyone, I'm Lewis, I run MARIOCATGAMIng. Been at it about 4 months. Not good at it, not proud of it, but here I am.
You're not proud of it. I wouldn't be proud of it either.
Oh.
Ooh, this guy.
Here we go.
Them spotting words.
It has begun.
So yeah, I'm going to edit the ever-living shit out of this, just so you know, Lewis. So these little blurbs here, these are all going to be gone.
See, I'm just happy there's push to talk. That way I can just be like, oh, I gotta, hold on. And then go away.
Well, I was told to use Audacity, so I'm using Audacity.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
What, Jeff, you're using Audacity too, right?
Yeah, so I am. I just forgot that it continuously records, and I don't have to worry about the pushing to talk
I was
button.
like, what in the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I'm just sitting here, like, eating and stuff like that, and I'm just like, well, I'm so glad all I have to do is push the button, because I have it hidden behind the questions, so I can, like, read them, and so I'm like, oh, yeah, it's fine, push to talk. Oh, yeah, I forgot. There is that.
There is that.
Well, at least you don't have to sit here listening to me, like, smacking my fruit snack, so.
What the bloody hell is a fruit snack?
It's a small, like, chewy, artificially flavored fruit piece.
Gross.
I'm sorry, it's a fruit-flavored snack. They're awesome.
They are really good.
I was thinking, like, are you eating a piece of fruit? And you have to, like,
yes, my
outline
snack
that it's a snack and not a meal.
Exactly. You know, I have to have my fruit snack, and then for lunch is my fruit lunch, and then it's a fruit dinner.
I have a beef dinner with a chocolate snack.
Exactly. I know, it's a chocolate dessert, a beef dinner, a chicken lunch.
What do you guys say for dinner? Is it dinner or is it something else?
It kind of depends. There's a lot of times it's dinner, sometimes it's supper. It just depends on, like, how you say lunch, or if you say dinner is lunch.
Oh, yeah, we get that in this country as well. People calling dinner lunch. Hate that.
I do too. It's seriously stupid, because it's like, look, dinner, it's known, is evening meal, not midday meal.
And it's like lunch already has a word for it, so, you know.
Exactly.
Why do we need two when the other one is so ambiguous and it's like the only word that I'm comfortable using for that time of meal thing?
All right,
exactly.
Let's not talk about LPs at all. Let's just talk about this stuff the entire time.
Hey, you know,
I thought you said you were editing this.
No, we're keeping this.
Oh, okay. This is just a chat before we even start the question.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a warm up, as it kind of gets you into the mood and kind of gets you thinking. That's kind of why we have the quick questions, just to kind of get your brain thinking and kind of just get a conversation going.
Pre those.
Yeah, I know. This is like before that, though.
I'm serious. I'm keeping this though. This is going in.
Oh, crap.
Right. You know how much I love the American English, like, jargon difference.
Yeah, that was actually one of my questions. Is just like, how much of that is a problem for you, and like, especially in the games.
That's the only one that I have, like, a proper answer prepared for.
Perfect. Done. I think we just need to do it right now.
All right, should we start with the questions then?
No.
Okay.
No, don't worry about it.
I'm gonna let Jeff go with this one because this is some of his questions. Go after Jeff. Get him.
Okay, first one. Who's your favorite Doctor?
Well, as a Brit, I've actually found out that the Americans like Doctor Who more than us. I'm not a major fan of Doctor Who. I did used to watch it back when it was David Tennant, so he is my favorite Doctor by far.
Yes!
I never watched the ones before that, and other than David Eccleston, I watched David Eccleston, I watched David Tennant. Is it David Eccleston? What was his name?
Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, that's the one. Whatever. He was good.
Close enough. David
Tennant was good. Who's the next guy? Matt Smith.
Yeah, the current Doctor is Matt Smith.
I feel like he would have been good if he was pre-David Tennant. I think the problem is that he had so much to live up to and he didn't.
Yeah, I think trying to follow David Tennant, it was kind of like, okay, now who's going to try to fill these shoes? Not quite going to do it no matter who you are.
And not only that, I think the series, since David Tennant left, I think the writers have sort of run out of ideas. A lot of the episodes just seem gimmicky to me. Like, I really haven't seen them, but all I heard from the most recent one was dinosaurs on a spaceship, and I was like, well, sounds like snakes on a plane.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what the title of the show was dinosaurs on a spaceship, so.
Wow, yeah, that just seems a bit gimmicky to me. It just seems like I remember watching some episodes of the David Tennant ones, and even some of the Christopher Eccleston ones, and just go, like, by the end, I was just like, wow, that changed my life. Well, it didn't change my life, but it was just, it just really impressed me. It just really, like,
life changing.
I understand, like, one of my favorite episodes, I think most people have the favorite episode of Blink, and it's just, like, it's funny, it's scary as hell, but it's just amazingly well written, and it's not even really about the Doctor, it's, like, about everyone else.
Oh, good, yeah. And obviously David Tennant brought so much to it. He was just,
yeah.
I liked his right balance of humour, drama, attractive man.
I know, just the whole package done.
He's basically me.
Well, there you go. So you should sign up to be the next Doctor.
Oh, I could never be that. I could never do it.
And I know absolutely nothing about Doctor Who. I watched some episodes, but like, you know, this conversation, I'm just going to slowly step back.
You're like, no, I'm back here. It's okay.
Oh, trust me, I'm faking this as well. Like, even when I did watch it, I wasn't a huge fan, but I remember I would go and, like, I don't actually have it, like, my own TV. If I want to go watch TV, it's with my family, so that's a big thing. Big sacrifice to make for the sake of television. And, yeah, so I would go and watch Doctor Who back when it was good, but now not so much.
I understand.
Now it's shit. You hear that, Jeff? It's shit.
I hate you all. I'm gonna go in my corner and cry.
I understand why people still like it, but it just kind of feels like you're clinging on to the broken dreams that once were. Yeah.
Hey, that's the American way.
That's right. Okay, so then. If you don't like, if it's not Doctor Who, what is there a British television series or what do you like about, okay, let me try this again. Do you prefer British television over American television, or is it still like, you know, you prefer American television over British?
I like American television. I like British television, but at the moment there's nothing on. I would definitely choose British television because of the type of program that I like, but there's more. I like sort of comedies, like sitcoms, not like How I Met Your Mother and all that shite. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but oh god, I hate that. Big Bang Theory, it just makes me want to shoot myself. But like, the US Office is probably one of my favourite TV series of all time, even over the British Office, but that's mainly because I hate Ricky Gervais.
Ah, okay.
My problem between the two is the way that American television is presented. Now, I've only been in America once, and the television there was just unwatchable. Like, your adverts, there's just so many. Like, by the time the program's back on, I've forgotten what's happening. It's just horrible. It's like bombarded constantly with, buy my shit, buy it, please.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, now we've started to put that into the actual show itself. So now you're getting it bombarded while you're watching the show, and then you go to commercials, and then you come back, and then you have more bombardment of advertisements in the middle of the show.
I haven't done cable in like 5 years, 6 years. It's been forever. Like I don't do it. It's too many ads. I fucking hate it.
Well, we have you're familiar with the BBC, I'm sure, the British Broadcasting Company.
The BBC.
Indeed.
Yes.
They are paid for sort of by the government, I think, mostly, so they don't have any adverts at all other than like internal stuff. So if they want to like advertise a show that's on sort of later on, or a big series that's coming on, then they'll do that. They'll do that, but they won't advertise products or films or anything really. So the BBC is like pretty much completely ad-free. There is breaks, but they're between programs as opposed to in the middle of programs.
So you actually get like an hour-long show as opposed to like 15-minute chunks of each thing.
Oh yeah. An hour-long show here usually only has sort of one break, maybe 2 or 3 if you're unlucky. Depends what channel really, but most of the time it's only sort of one break per program.
Yeah, you can kind of tell that if you go back and watch them on DVD, but like here on BBC America, they pretty much they'll jam those commercials in wherever they can. They kind of look for a lull in the show and then stop it and throw in the commercials just so they can get all their advertising in as well.
But with American TV, you can actually see that the program is like split up almost into acts. Like when I got into the US office, I watched it sort of series 1, episode 1, all the way up to the most recent one because I was like so infatuated with it. And you can just tell like every episode is just sort of split up. You can be like, yeah, there'd be a break here, but because I'm watching it here, like I'm not seeing it. But God, I'd hate that.
Yeah, they kind of play to that sometimes too, because they'll build up right before the break just so that they'll make sure you come back after the break. But yeah, for the most part, it's just pretty much it's broken up into segments, and you kind of lose interest in sometimes.
I suppose you do need it because, like I said, you do sort of if they didn't play it sort of in acts, then you would get really, really lost because you just wouldn't know what was happening. But even then, because I'm so used to not very many breaks and an uninterrupted viewing session, I was very distracted when I was in America trying to watch TV.
Yeah, it can be a problem. But like I guess the mentality over here is that it's, you know, the TV is actually there to draw people for the advertisements, not the other way around. It's not like it's a really good show so people will come and watch it. It's more of just you watch it to get your ads because they pay for the show.
Yeah. Even the channels that are paid for by advertising are a little less like, I don't know. Like the other thing is I realised was that the adverts sort of blend in with each other in America. Like I couldn't tell where one ended and the next one came in. It's like they're all so confusing and for different things. Like usually it's sort of structured here where we'll have like maybe 1 or 2 for a product. And like at the end of each one, there'll be like a screen that shows the product, and like, I don't know, it's just really easy to distinguish. But like, America just blasts it to you like one after the other, just like that bam, bam, bam. Like, oh, it's just too much for my British brain to comprehend.
Okay, so Jeff specifically told me not to ask it like this, so I'm gonna ask it just like this. All right,
I hate
Lewis.
you.
Lewis, how white are you?
Sour cream.
Any whiter, you'd be invisible.
Adam Sandler sour cream?
Well,
Do the
it's all
impersonation.
relative,
I want to
isn't
hear
it?
it again.
The Adam Sandler impression.
Yeah, you did it in one of your episodes. I think it was your first San Andreas one.
Did I?
You did. It was amazing.
What did I say? Which character was I impersonating?
Well, you're talking as Adam Sandler. It was awesome.
I have to go and look it up, but I promise before the end of the podcast I'll do it. But I have to go and refresh my memory.
Okay.
Fantastic. I like it.
Okay, how white am I? It's relative, I suppose, because listening to this podcast, the listeners are like, wow, he sounds white because of these 2 American guys sort of sandwiched either side of him. But as it goes, sort of amongst friends and, cohorts, I'm sort of average, I guess. I'm quite laid back as opposed to some guys like who are all about I've just come out of what you guys would call high school. So, I was never all about the grades. I was more about having fun, being creative, making films, doing this, doing that. But I guess, with that came a little bit more sort of relaxation and less white as opposed to the people who concentrate on their grades.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting a real answer, but wow.
There it is.
That's impressive.
I really okay. So we're starting to get into like who would have thought we'd get into race by asking him, hey, how white he is, but
Spock, didn't you know I'm black?
Yeah, I'm black, so I can talk about this.
Well, the main reason I'd asked it was because it was when you first started up San Andreas, you're just like, I love this, it's so awesome, and yet I'm so incredibly white.
Well, compared to San Andreas,
That's true. Yeah.
I really am sour cream. But in my home, I'm not that bad. But compared to America, I really am, because I think our country is sort of whiter than yours, unless you go north, and then you're basically dead. Have you ever seen Trainspotting, the scene where they follow that American guy into the toilets and basically kill him? That's really funny.
Yeah.
All right, so GTA San Andreas is one of your favorite games. Why is that?
It's awesome! Well, once again, it's...
Elaborate.
If you've come from my channel, you'll know that I play more story games. I like story. I like to be told a story. And GTA was just... Before sort of the more graphically pleasing games come out, you could really easily be sort of drawn into the world. It's so in-depth. Like, there's a good mix between sort of blank space, where there's like forest and desert and cities, and you can be drawn into this world. And like, the characters are all really endearing. And like, it just tells you a story. And as well, I'm trying to put it into words as I'm talking, but it's not happening.
Keep stalling.
The pace of the story is absolutely amazing. Like, you start off at the beginning and, you're basically doing like a little bit, like a few jobs sort of out of the road that you were brought up on, just getting back on your feet, getting the gang back on your feet. And it gets to the point where you're doing like a casino heist and like stealing a jetpack from the government. Like, that is insane. And also it blurs the lines between the early story where not a lot is happening to these great big missions with so much character so well that you barely even notice the transition. Like, it took me like a few years of like going back and completing this game to actually realize the contrast between the first mission and the last mission. It's insane. Like, I know you can say that for a lot of games, but this really, really is like just insane. And I think GTA 4 like just didn't have the same scale. They brought out Ballad of Gay Tony, the DLC, and like, it was heading in the right direction, but GTA 4 was already lacking too much sort of humor and drama to be GTA San Andreas.
So did you like the entire GTA series, or was it just like San Andreas was it? That was it for you?
Well, 1 and 2 I've played, but obviously they lack sort of the modern concepts of GTA that we know. But
Yeah,
video games for me started when I was a lot younger, and I used to go and see my cousins who lived kind of far sort of northwest of here. And every time I saw them, they'd always be playing games and stuff. They were sort of at the age that I am now, back when I was probably like 8, 9. And being the amazing and responsible cousins they were, they used to play things like GTA 3 with me. And so GTA 3 is like one of my fondest memories, like just screwing around with the cheats, like getting a big rhino tank and just like killing loads of people. 10-year-old
just rolling
Lewis
everybody over,
loved
yeah.
that. And like, a lot of my game, like, I can tell that a lot of sort of the games that I love come from that era as well, because they used to play Age of Empires 2, which now I just love. So much nostalgia. Like, though my cousins, even though I barely see them like nowadays, they pretty much started the whole gaming bug with me, I think.
So in other words, we can thank them for your channel.
You could write letters of complaint to them.
Little column A, little column B, you know?
But yeah, I do like all of the games. It's been a long time since I've played sort of Vice City and Number 3, but I do really like them all. But San Andreas is definitely my favorite because of the map size, the mission diversity, and that whole sort of, it's like an opera almost.
So
it's amazing.
The first Grand Theft Auto, I don't know, did you play the first Grand Theft Auto?
I have played it, yeah. I didn't play it like when it came out, obviously. I think I was like 0 at the time. I think I didn't even know if I was born. But
okay.
I'm pretty sure it was 96, but I could be wrong. I'm probably very wrong with that, actually. I don't know where 96 came from. But yeah, I have played it, but it's I don't know if you know, but it's the top-down.
Right. Yeah. And
yeah.
The reason why I bring it up is because the only experience I have, like, first off, I'm not really big into the Grand Theft Auto games. I didn't even play through the third one. I played the fourth one, and that's it. But, well, aside from the first one we played at LAN parties, and I have no idea if that game even, like, had a plot. All I know is I played it, like, at LAN parties. We would drive around and try to kill each other, and that was it.
Well, I never completed it because it just didn't hold me as well as the modern games do. It does have a plot. I believe the first one is there's 3 gangs and you sort of actually get to decide sort of which one you side with. But obviously there's no sort of cutscenes, there's no character development. It's like, hey, I think you accept most of your missions from payphones, and it's just like a bit of text on the screen. So you don't actually know who your bosses are. You don't really know who you are. It's tough. It's like, a lot of what I love about GTA is the character development and the story, if you hadn't realised. And there wasn't much of that in the first one or the second one. So, there is a storyline, but it's not much of one.
Gotcha. Okay, so sorry about this, Jeff. I'm gonna come up with another question here.
No, you're fine.
All right, so speaking of story, I'm gonna skip down here a little bit. I have never played the Tony Hawk games at all. I haven't played a single one of them, and you did an LP of Tony Hawk Underground 2. And at the very beginning, you mentioned that you really like it because it has a really great storyline. I had no idea the Tony Hawk series even had stories. Like, I just thought it was like straight up, skateboarding, and that's it. So, I mean, like, could you explain, like, maybe the basis of the storyline?
Yeah, no problem. You obviously are familiar with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. If you haven't played them, you're at least familiar with them, yeah?
Well, I mean, I assume, like, I know who Tony Hawk is, and I know it's skating, so that's about it.
Pro Skater 1 through 4 were the games pre-Tony Hawk's Underground, basically. And you can draw a lot of parallels between sort of Tony Hawk's and GTA here, because Pro Skaters 1 through 4 didn't have stories at all. They would just load you into some crazy map. Like, I remember Pro Skater 4 had, like, Alcatraz, and a zoo, and, like, all these crazy different places. And you go in, and at the beginning, it's like, hey, you have 2 minutes to complete as many of these goals as you can, go ahead. And I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I loved just skating around the levels, exploring, because the Tony Hawk series has a hell of a lot of character, but collecting SKATE and, like, getting a high score is just not fun for me. It's like grinding, basically. So that's Pro Skaters 1 through 4. But Tony Hawk's Underground was completely revolutionary, like, in every way, because they really hyped it up because of the story. Like, it was the first Tony Hawk's game to have a story. That's why so many people are surprised about it if they don't know anything about the series, because most people, when they think of Tony Hawk's game, they are thinking of Pro Skater 4 more than anything, maybe 3. But basically it's similar to San Andreas in the way that you start off as a small town guy and you work your way up. You literally become a pro skater in your own right. You make your own character. You sort of go around, you talk to people, that you've got like a best friend who has character development. You have your own character development. Like, all of this stuff happens, and like, you go on a journey. Like, it's not just like, hey, you're in Alcatraz, now you're in a zoo. You start off in New Jersey, and you go on a tour. Like, so you end up in, like, Canada for a little while, and then you go to Hawaii because you're a pro skater and it's time to celebrate. You go to Vancouver and you go to this massive, like, Slam City Jam, which is a skating competition. So it's like progressive. It's not just random and like, hey, collect this stuff. A lot of the missions obviously are, hey, go collect this or do this, because it's Tony Hawk. There's not a hell of a lot you can do with a game where you have basically zero interaction with the environment other than you can jump off of shit. But yeah, because I think I like it more because of the delivery. Like, it's got a lot more charm, and also sort of it gives you this, your best friend sort of becomes the antagonist, and like, you start to really hate him.
Spoilers. Oh my god.
Spoiler alert.
No,
spoilers. And yeah, it gives you motivation, because, you're like, hey, this guy's an asshole. I really want to show him what's what. Like, as opposed to just, hey, let's collect the skate letters. I'm Tony Hawk.
Yeah. Do you think that they kind of added in the story because people were getting tired of it? Or do you think it was just like, hey, we need to do something else here?
Obviously I can't speak for a game developer, but yeah, I think it's probably a bit of both of those things. Like, they wanted to probably explore sort of new frontiers with Tony Hawk's, but at the same time, there is only so much you can do with being on a skateboard. Like, I wouldn't play too many of the games after Underground 2. Underground 2 was a stretch. American Wasteland I haven't played, but I've heard good things about it. But after that, they just go to shit. So, I think the storyline thing got pretty tiring pretty quickly. But saying that, that's about 4 games as well, isn't it? So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 storyline games, and then it went to crap. So I don't know.
Yeah.
they're all the same game, just with like the big difference between the old era and the new era is the storyline, and I think it definitely needed it.
So just out of curiosity, after talking to you about this, I had no idea who actually made these games, but I guess it was Neversoft, and it looks like they're pretty well known for Tony Hawk.
Oh yeah, Neversoft is basically Tony Hawk. I couldn't tell you anything else. Did they do Guitar Hero? I have never really played Guitar Hero that much, so I don't know.
Did they do SSX Tricky as well?
Oh yeah, I think they did. I think they did a lot of sort of sports game. I think what's that guy on the BMX? What's the famous BMXer, like the Tony Hawks of BMXing? He did a game as well, and I think they did that with him. Yeah, they did all the sort of niche sports almost games sort of thing.
I'm looking at the wiki, and it's telling me that they did Skeleton Warriors in 96, they did Apocalypse in 98, then they did a whole fuck ton of Tony Hawk stuff. Like
While you're on the wiki, quickly, just look when GTA 1 came out. I'm really curious now.
Well, I can't search on the spot. Come on, guys.
Go on.
Oh, you know you can. Okay, so Lewis, let me ask you another one of our questions, and maybe that'll give Kurt a time to do it. So, here's the one you said you had prepared. Is there an issue that you have with the English-American jargon? Any words that you, like, confuse the hell out of you or just piss you off?
No.
I hate you.
I'm joking. No.
Wow.
My answer is still no, but I do have a small speech prepared, as with the rest of the questions.
Fantastic.
Hey, you're not supposed to say that. These are supposed to be like live in your face questions.
Do you know what? This is the only one that I have actually thought about. The rest of those were just on the spot.
So the rest of them were live. This one's the only one pre-recorded.
Hold on while I get my piece of paper.
He's getting it.
No, I don't really have a piece of paper. So basically, I say that too much in general. I think most people do. I grew up with American television. Like, I'd say over 50% of what is aired in this country is American. So we are familiar with American jargon. Like, Friends was really popular over here. Loads of your sitcoms. I said about How I Met Your Mother and The Big Bang Theory. So if you're talking about the boot of a car and an American guy says trunk, I know exactly what you mean because I've seen American TV. I've grown up with awful amounts of American films. So yeah, I have no trouble. But since I started the channel and I've got talking to guys like you over in the States and like people on the channel, I found myself saying things that I wouldn't normally say so that people understand me first time. Like if I said secondary school, that's your high school, but I'd be like, high school if I was talking to you guys, so you knew what I meant first time round. If I wanted to talk about, I don't know how this works. I don't know what like the conversion is, but you have grades, am I right, for the age of the student?
Yeah, that's correct.
So you're in like third grade, yeah? Yeah. So I don't know how that works out compared to us because we have years.
I'm not in third grade anymore.
Yeah, you are.
No.
So I don't know, but we have years. So I was in year 11.
Okay, so your year is basically, it's pretty much the same as our grade. Cause but what grade, our grade started like kindergarten through first grade, but that's like 5 years old.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. I mean, we obviously start at year 1, but I'm pretty sure year 1 is after first grade.
How old were you when you started year 1?
I don't know. How old? Let's go to some later grade. What grade are you in when you were like 16?
That'd probably be like 9th grade, 10th grade.
I think that is year 11 for us. Like when I left school, I was in year 13.
Yeah, usually when we leave, it's senior year as high school is about year 12, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I think the grades are a little bit behind.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is, no, I have no trouble, but you guys do. The other thing I noticed as well, it's not so much jargon, like, I think you have a small grasp of like the niche words that we use. That we have like different words, like we say going to see a film, you guys go to see a movie, like obviously you know that. But a lot of things that I realised that I have to explain are like sayings, like turn of phrase. I can't think of any on the spot, which is really disappointing, but like little sayings and stuff, I always have to like explain, or people like misinterpret what I'm saying and get offended. So yeah, that's more of a problem than just like jargon.
I gotcha. Okay.
Okay, Lewis, you should have known this was coming, but all right. So when your internet goes out, what device do you usually reset to fix it?
My computer.
No. You know exactly what I'm going for here.
My router.
Well, the first time I heard him say router, I was just like, "What the fuck is that?"
See, but I don't know if that's jargon or if that's just the accent that will change that.
It's pronunciation.
It's not jargon, but it's pronunciation. Yeah, but
sorry,
still.
what did you?
Wow.
It's not jargon.
Yeah, I think you just said jargon.
No.
Jargon. Alright, so I was brought up saying router. Okay, everyone around me says router. But in the same way that if someone in your country said router, when I hear someone in my country say router, I'm like, shut up. I think that's mainly because people who say router probably were trained by American companies like Cisco and stuff.
So is that kind of off-putting for you, or is that just
I know what they mean, just like I'm silently judging them.
Yeah. Or you're like, you're not British enough.
Saying router is like saying GIF.
Just punch him in the face.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I'm okay with you guys saying router because it's an American thing and it sounds okay when someone says it American, but when it's slipped into a sentence over here, it's like, no, please say router. In the same way that you guys would say route if you were trying to get somewhere. Like if you wanted directions, you might say,
like
hey,
Route 44.
Yeah, but we would always say route for that, always.
Well, I think that's another one of those that's kind of languages, our accent, because some people do say Route 44 or Route 44.
Yeah, the only kind of route that we have here is like it's like a woodworking technique, and also a tool. Like a tool is a router, a type of special. It's like it digs holes in wood, kind of thing. Like you can route a pattern in wood. So for something that creates a route for the internet, it would make no sense for me to say router.
By the way, guys, Grand Theft Auto, the original, late 97 for MS-DOS and Windows.
I wasn't far off then.
No, that was pretty close.
So that's like a few years younger than me, not many.
Man, you're so young.
So young.
I'll have you know that I'm legally an adult.
All right, Kurt, I have to run out for a little bit. I gotta go take Kevin in. I will be back. But you guys just keep going, and if you guys are still here when I get back, then I'll talk on more later.
Okay.
Sorry, man. This is apparently the only time they can get us in, so.
GTFO, my friend.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.
See you around.
Right, later. All right, Lewis, it's just you and me.
Uh-oh.
I'm scared. Are you scared?
Only of you.
You damn straight you should be. Moving on. How do you feel about saying personal information about yourself on Let's Plays?
I'm not too worried, but at the same time, if I accidentally introduce myself with my second name, I will go back and re-record.
Oh, really? You've got yourself doing that?
Oh yeah, because the only times that I've ever introduced myself in real life, I'm used to using my second name. I'm like, hey, I'm Lewis. So-and-so. But anyone
there, didn't you?
Well, no, I was giving an example and didn't know what to say instead of my second name. But
I'm
not
British,
too worried.
man.
I think most people know that I'm 18. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Most people know that I live near London. Like, that's pretty vague. Like, I'm happy with that sort of thing, but I think everyone has sort of the waking up in a cold sweat wondering what happens if your channel gets big and then people start looking you up, like, at least once you've thought about that, but...
I, sort of the way I did it was I actually tried to separate my online identity and my personal identity. So I've got a different email account for my YouTube account, and I've got a different, Facebook page. I haven't really done anything with it yet, but I'll have a different Facebook page and a different Twitter account.
Yeah, I do as well. I have all of that. I definitely keep the channel separate from my personal life. Like, I think, the only person I have sort of from YouTube on my Facebook is Aubrey, who I've done some videos with for everyone who's watching this and is like, who the bloody hell is that?
Yeah, the asshole that was supposed to be on here and he totally ditched us. It's whatever.
He has school.
Doesn't matter. No excuses.
I told him to pull a sickie, but he didn't, so, But yeah, I do
True.
keep it separate. I keep it separate. So I've got a separate YouTube. No, yeah, I do have a personal YouTube where I've uploaded some, like, real life videos that I made because I was a media student, so I have actually made videos. Not good ones, but they're separate from the main channel. My Twitter is separate. I've got a personal Twitter, but I use the channel one mostly. Separate email address. Separate everything. But yeah, I do use my real name. Lewis is my real name because I think I introduced one video as Mario Cat and was like, no, I regret using this name for my channel, but I did.
Speaking of that, how did you come up with that name?
Okay. A lot of my subscribers are from me playing Garry's Mod. That is because I play a hell of a lot of Garry's Mod. I've got like 300 hours sort of thing. That's not loads and loads, but it's probably the most played game in my Steam library. Me and a few friends that I have in real life are screwing around on Garry's Mod, and we noticed that most people on Garry's Mod have a ridiculous name, like Anal Squirrel or something. And we all thought that we'd have a little competition amongst ourselves to come up with the stupidest name. And I sort of hung back behind them and waited to see what they'd come up with. And one of my friends was Noop Lord, a misspelling of noob and lord. Another guy was Gaze Below, so that on the scoreboard he would everyone below him would be gay. It's his way of insulting people. And one guy wanted to be Captain Falcon on a walrus, but he screwed it up completely and became Captain Flaken because he misspelt it and just stuck with Captain Flaken on its own. And we all laughed about this for like half an hour straight. I think I was in tears. It was one of those you had to be there, but that was so funny. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to misspell something too, and came to Mario Kart. I think I was going to type something with Mario Kart in it, and it just ended up as Mario Cat with a K, and then I was like, I might as well have a C, and then it just stuck. And then I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel, like always wanted to do like Let's Plays and stuff, but never really like got around to doing it. And sort of when school ended or was coming to the end and like all of this, I thought, let's do it. Let's start up now while I've got some spare time. And, my other pseudonym that I use is Blunt, and my other pseudonym that I use is Oh Hell, and both of those were taken, like the names that I wanted on YouTube, revolving around them, so I thought, what else have I got? And unfortunately, my Steam name was still Mario Cat, and that's where Mario Cat came from. I had a friend of mine, draw up a little logo with a cat dressed as Mario on my shoulders, and that was that, and it's stuck ever since, unfortunately, but there it is. I'm known for what I'm known as.
I wasn't very familiar with the channel. I was actually more familiar with just talking to you in Minecraft and on Mumble, as Oh Hell. And also as Blunt as well, because that's the username that you use in the IRC chat. So, to me, it took me a very long time to attach MARIOCATGAMING with you. And even to this day, it's still kind of weird.
That's exactly how I feel.
I'm not sure that's a good thing.
If anyone's watching this for my particular stance on the channel, I'd just like to say that Mario Cat Gaming is the channel. Mario Cat is not me. I'm Lewis. Call me Lewis, please.
And that's why we go by first names.
Yeah. I find it weird if I'm talking to people about you, I'm like, yeah, Sparhawk, and they're like, who? What kind of a name is that? And I'm just like, yeah, it's a pseudonym. I don't know how he feels about me using his real name.
I don't mind at all. However, a lot of people, like if you use my real name, Curtis, they'll be like, who? Who the fuck's that?
Charlotte knows you as both. Charlotte is my girlfriend, and I talk about you all the time.
I'm not sure. It's kind of weird.
Well, no, if we have plans for recording something, or I was like, hey, I'm recording with Kurt today, and she'll be like, oh, you mean Spa? And I'm like, yeah.
Don't use Kurt. I don't like that name.
You just told me you didn't mind.
Hey, I said Curtis. I said Curtis is fine. Kurt, man, that's no.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. Actually, I told my I think it was in like second or third grade. My gym teacher would always call me Kurt. And one day I was just like, no, you call me Curtis. That's I don't know why I brought that up, but anyway. And he did from that day on.
I always thought about actually making up a name that my name is like short for, or a nickname for, and just insisting that people called me it. And for a long, long time, I was like set on, like, I never actually like enacted it, because you know people who choose their own nicknames, they just sound like such assholes. That was the reason I didn't, but for a long time I was thinking about like getting really offended when someone called me Lewis and insist that they called me Ludwig.
Wow.
Because I just thought that was really funny. But, you know, things change. People change, Spar.
People change. That's right. Say, look, you just call me Spar, man. What's up with that?
I refer to you as Spar most of the time, okay?
Where were we on the questions list? I'm so confused. Without Jeff, I'm so lost.
Second LP question. Go.
No, I don't. Okay. So, do you feel it's more fun to do Let's Plays with other people or by yourself?
I think it's probably more fun for my viewers when there's other people, because obviously it's really easy to bounce sort of ideas and jokes off of another person. Personally, I don't have a massive preference. There's some games obviously that I like playing on my own. Some games you can't play on your own. Like Gary's mod is really hard to make funny, like on your own. It's really tough. So I always try and do that with Aubrey, or I go in with my mic, like with push to talk set up, so that I can actually talk to people who are already on the server. But my solo LPs, obviously I'm really new to this, so I'm not the best commentator in the world, but I'm trying. I want to get a lot better at solo commentating, and I'm always actively sort of thinking, how can I be better at this? But yeah, I don't have a preference. It's the short answer, but I believe that probably my co-op LPs turn out better than my solos.
I think you're doing a pretty good job with the with Fallout New Vegas.
It's getting there. I think because I always really I like to upload daily, and because of that, sometimes I record when I'm not in a good mood, or like when I feel kind of ill. I'm often ill. I don't let it stop me, but I'm often ill with something. So some episodes I'm really proud of. I'm like, yeah, I think I did really good. Like the last couple of episodes, if you go and watch them now, I'm not that proud of because I wasn't feeling very well at the time. But the next episode, which I'm going to upload today at the time of recording, I'm very happy with, because I was much sort of happier, much more confident. I haven't really recorded anything on my own since then, so I'm hoping that that sort of mood carries on. I can tell personally that I'm getting better, but I don't know if viewers see it.
I think it's always great to look at like the first LP you did and listen to your commentary, then go to like your most recent one and see the difference. It's really cool just being able to actually see your progress.
I don't think I've made masses of progress. I think I made like a little. I think I'm just starting to make like progress. I think it's going to be a steep curve, and I think it's just starting. Like the ball is just starting to roll. So I think a lot of what I started off doing is going to be very similar to now. I'm definitely very like different. I'm much more talkative, but whether the content is good or not is a different story.
I like to think like all my older content is like just absolute shit, but I actually watched all my older episodes and I'm like, man, my commentary actually wasn't that bad. It made me start wondering exactly like how much progress I've actually made like over the past 6 months. So
I think a lot of what LP has run into with commentary is being funny. Like I ran with the competition that I ran recently, I also had a bonus question where people could tell me what they would like me to do to improve the channel, like what they would like to see from me. And I think sort of 75% of the answers was more humour. But it's so difficult to instill humour sort of knowingly. You know, it's like, I think I can do it for sure. I just need to get more comfortable with it, because I like to think that generally I have a pretty good sense of humour. But I'm not yet completely comfortable with staring at a screen and talking to myself to be able to let it out. You know? If that makes sense.
Absolutely. I mean, like, basically, you don't do humor for yourself. Like, we're wired to be funny around other people, and then you're actually forcing yourself to get in front of a video game and be funny to people who aren't there.
Yeah, I think I need to sit down, sort of get into the mindset that this is for an audience. Obviously, I don't have a massive audience to them. I'm really grateful for the audience that I do have, but because I don't see a huge audience like on a day-to-day basis, it's hard to think of it in that way, but I do need to start thinking of it that way. Otherwise, I'm not going to make any progress.
I think one of the weirdest things was like, you talk as if people are listening. And when I first started off, I'm just like, no one's going to listen to this. Like, I'm going to have like one view, and that's my best friend. Let's listen to this, So I'm going to be like, hey guys, welcome back to blah, 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 even though I know only one of you is going to listen. Kind of weird.
Yeah. That's basically the mindset. Whether an LPer says it or not, that all of their early videos are going to be that. I think this is a good time to mention as well that I don't actually think of myself as a Let's Player as such. I'm just a gaming channel. I'm branching out. I'm going to do more stuff. I'm sorry. I know this is a Let's Play podcast, but I wasn't going to bring it up until I was actually on the show.
Wait, what? You're branching out. What are you going to do?
I'm going to do some reviews. I might even do some, it will still be video game related, but I've got some ideas for some, like real life skits. I love making films, like with an actual camera and stuff, so I might do some stuff like that. It'll all be video game related, but yeah, I'm just going to be a gaming channel, I think.
Real life skits, man, unsubbed.
Aww.
I keyed. Actually, one of my favorite, he's not a Let's Player, he's more like just a general video game guy. John Tron, he does like a lot of real life stuff. And, I really like his channel, so man, just go at it.
Yeah, he's awesome. I didn't know a hell of a lot about him until recently when he did the Game Grumps with Egoraptor.
Mm-hmm,
and I've sort of gone back and like looked at his stuff, and like his videos, like the earlier ones, obviously they suffer a bit, but you can tell that they all have so much effort put into them. Like, if you think of that from an editing standpoint, there is a lot of work in that. Like, of just what he does. Like, he is a really funny guy, really nice guy as well. And yeah, he's a great guy. I don't really remember what I was going for. But yeah, I want to be more like that. I think I just generally want to be a gamer. You've probably noticed from me sitting here talking about stuff, I love talking about my opinions, and I don't get a massive chance to do that with LPs. I will still be doing LPs because it's buttloads of fun. But I just want to release some different content, like maybe just small one-off videos of content as well. I've started doing that already. But yeah, I'm going to start sort of not branching out as such, but just having a little bit of variety in my content.
Actually, I totally understand, because like, a lot of my subscriber base actually came from me making Minecraft videos, and like that, if you're listening to this,
it's not really a Let's Play, is it?
No, it's not really. And I mean, like, that was a creative outlet for me, but I also like having other creative outlets, and I can only do so much with Minecraft. So I know a lot of my subscribers came like from me playing Minecraft, and I hope they'll stick around. But I like to branch out. I like to do a lot of creative things. I'm gonna keep doing Let's Play stuff, but I totally understand why you'd want to branch out even further than that.
Yeah, I think a lot of the reasoning behind the channel as well is that I actually want to pursue a career in television, which is a bit bad considering earlier I was talking about how I don't like to watch television that much because it's all bad. But yeah, I want to be in TV and movies. And I think a lot of my love, like, my only passion when I was at school was going to sort of on my media classes and making films. And I think a lot of the channel comes from that as well. I wouldn't be able to run the channel without my prior sort of love of film because of the editing and the video. I would have no idea what I was doing. I have no idea where to start. And I think a lot of the videos that I make, I don't get a chance to sort of flex my muscles a bit. What I can do with video editing software and what I want to do can't be done even with video game footage. Like, there's some stuff you need to have a camera and a tripod. Yeah, I've got a few ideas for some skits. I'm hopefully going to start working at it. I just need to find some friends who are actually good actors, which is hard to do.
Are you a good actor?
No, I'm really not. I'm actually a terrible actor.
So this is a recipe for disaster.
I'm a good director though, and a cameraman. I'm definitely one side of the camera. I'm definitely not in front of it. I might have to be if I do any projects, in front of it, but I definitely prefer being behind it.
Gotcha. Okay, so I saw you had a podcast, and I've actually listened to it. Do you only have one episode of it out so far?
Yes, I do. Finish your question, and then I can justify why there's only one episode.
Okay, so how much research do you do for your prodcastination / LPs?
The reason there is only one podcast is because of the research. Like, I don't know what's happening with it at the moment, because it's me and Aubrey and obviously the time difference. He is actually a very busy guy. Like, I know you and Jeff are, but I think you're a bit more dedicated to it than we were. It's difficult for us to get together and do the research because it doesn't really work if we do it separately, because it's kind of hard to segue. I really enjoyed doing it. Like, really enjoyed recording it, really enjoyed all the research and stuff, but because it's hard to have sort of a long period of time when we're actually together and we're not recording something, it's hard for us to produce that. So I don't know. We did a lot of research. I haven't actually answered your question. Yes, there was a lot of research. Because it's news. It's basically a news podcast, so.
Gotcha. Well, I totally understand the time difference. Like, right now, I think you're 6 hours ahead of me, and I'm CST.
Yeah, I'm GMT, so.
Yeah, you're 6 hours ahead, and like just getting this podcast lined up, I had to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning, because that's the only time Jeff could do it, and even Jeff just had to take off because his son was sick.
Yeah, as well, like I guess your guests do a lot of the research for you. Like, if you were doing a podcast about LPers but you didn't have guests on, you'd have to go and find out all this information about me without me. If actually, that makes sense.
Now that you think about it, that would be kind of weird, and that would be a lot of research.
Exactly, and that's kind of what we're doing, but in a lesser way, but with the game industry, and it's hard because there's so many rumors flying around. You've got to try and verify sources, and in the same way that you got up really early, I was up till the early hours of the morning with Aubrey one evening, just researching that first episode, and that was hell. And like, we were recording the next day, and I feel that my performance suffered because of that, and I'm just kind of not reluctant to do it again, but we just need to find the right time.
I totally understand. Time difference and all the research and all the work that goes behind doing a podcast, all the editing afterwards. Oh, sweet Jesus, the editing. Cleaning up the audio.
I think it was much more than we expected, and I think that's why we haven't jumped straight into doing another one. I think we're going to try and sort some stuff out and then maybe do it regularly, maybe decide against carrying on with it. I don't know. But it was definitely a good learning experience because I helped you out with some podcast stuff in the end, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
RSS feeds and stuff. So yeah, it was a good learn. I know a little bit more about something, so I'm happy. Even if it doesn't carry on, I'm happy just to have had that experience and know what it's like.
Yeah, the RSS stuff and all that nonsense. I was just like, what? I got to do what now?
Yeah, that is so unusual. You think a big corporation like Apple wouldn't really relying on someone else's servers and emit sound hosting and all this different crap just for.
It's so weird. Just for the listeners, basically, what we have to do to get this on iTunes is you have to create an RSS feed.
No. Start at the beginning. You have to upload your podcast to a hosting site. I believe you use Dropbox, don't you?
Yeah, I use Dropbox.
So you have to be able to get a URL, similar to image. How do you say imager? Imager?
Imager. That's how you say it.
Imager. I've never even thought about saying that out loud. That kind of snuck up on me a bit. Yeah, so you have to get the sound version of an imager link. Then you have to upload that to an RSS feed. It's really difficult to get hold of a free RSS feed. And then you have to connect your RSS feed to iTunes, submit it for review. Oh, it's horrible.
And there's all sorts of little kinks you can run into because some sites that you upload your podcast file to, they have to have some sort of special download. I don't remember what it was called, but some sites just won't work for whatever reason.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it either.
Your RSS feed has to be labeled as a podcast feed instead of a normal feed. It's really weird.
Sucks, man. Podcasting sucks.
It does suck. I quit.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
No, moving on.
All right, so there's something I forgot to ask you about Fallout New Vegas. Why did you choose Boxer as your class? I mean, it's awesome. It's really funny. I love it, but why? What gave you that idea?
Fallout. If you type Fallout New Vegas into YouTube, you are going to come across a sea of Let's Plays. And I was thinking, sort of, what can I do a little bit different? Nothing like game change. I don't want to like steroid up my game on mods and then have to suffer the consequences later on. I want to do something that I can do within the game without having too much issues. Like just something that does change the gameplay a hell of a lot without changing the game too much. And I was thinking about things. If I saw a related video for an unarmed Let's Play of Fallout New Vegas, I'd be like, yep, instant subscribe. So, and I still get comments on the first episode saying things like, yeah, finally someone understands the power of the unarmed. And unarmed is actually so overpowered in a game like full of guns. Like your fists are just so like overpowered. You don't have to carry guns around. So there's no weight in your backpack. You don't have to carry ammo. You make loads of money off all the weapons that you pick up. No ammo for it. So you don't have to worry about running out. Like, one of my most recent episodes, you head into a casino and you got to go and investigate something in one of the rooms and you basically get ambushed. And because you're in one of these casinos where they take away all your weapons, you have nothing. And I thought, oh my god, I don't have any guns. How am I going to get out of this? And I was like, oh right, yeah, I'm unarmed. And I just like punched them a few times and they died. It was easy. But thinking, like my knee-jerk reaction was from previous like playthroughs, like personal playthroughs, was, what am I going to do? My unarmed is terrible. Why would I ever level up unarmed? And I guess it forced me to play it a bit differently than I normally would. And yeah, that's why I chose it, because it's different.
Well, I thought the first episode was quite good, and I look forward to watching more of them. Like, and especially the character you put together. What was his name?
Lord Snodgrass. It's actually a reference to, I believe it's Oliver, the musical.
Oh, man.
Is it Oliver? I don't remember. There's a song in the musical. It's about, one of the women sings it, and she talks about this guy, Lord Snodgrass, who comes in for a drink and a quick, with some of the women in this brothel. And the name just stuck. So there it is.
Well, I'm a little worried. I just tried to wiki Lord Snodgrass and didn't come up with anything.
I think Snodgrass is actually the second name of a football player in like Liverpool FC or something. I'm not sure which. I'm not a big football fan, but some people asked me if I was going off this football player, and I was like, no, nope. I'm much more camp than that. It's from a musical, actually. But yeah, I guess I haven't done much on the character development since then, since that first episode, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, the first episode is kind of cringy because I'm like doing his voice and stuff, Hey,
I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
That's one thing that I watched and I was like, ugh.
No way. Actually, that reminds me of my Skyrim LP. Like the first episode was just like, this is my character. He's going to have these traits. And then after that, all I did was like, I stuck with a couple of traits and that was it.
Yeah, I think it's getting a bit stale now because I'm just walking around doing missions, but, spoiler alert, I think I'm just going to go and go to sort of big encampments of different tribes and stuff and basically just kill everyone with my fists.
That's the spirit.
But like, I probably could find if I wanted to, but I haven't actually seen anyone kill some of the harder enemies with their fists. So I think I'm going to go and do that because I think that'd be really fun.
Okay, so next question. If I can look it up here. Hold on.
Do you want me to read it to you?
Yeah. How much pressure do you feel you have on you to perform well or get material out in a timely manner?
Absolutely none. I'm actually really...
That must be nice.
Really lazy as a person. I do kind of feel a bit guilty if a day goes by and I haven't done anything or I haven't recorded. But I still manage to get stuff out. Like there's always sort of a backlog of material in my compress folder. F drive, video, compress. If anyone gets onto my computer, they want to see what other videos are.
Yeah, I was about to say this is oddly specific. Yeah, I just really enjoy it. Like I just hop on, do some recording when I want. I'd like to do more recording than I actually do, but because I'm lazy, I don't. I manage to upload pretty much every day. Uploading is a bit of a hassle because I have to tether my phone because my Wi-Fi isn't fast enough. So yeah, I kind of do that. But yesterday, I think all YouTubers have been given access to scheduled uploads.
And I uploaded like a few videos yesterday and just sort of scheduled them to come on. So for the next couple of days, I don't actually have to worry about uploading, which is good. So since then, I think actually the zero pressure that I had on me has been lifted. So now I can be even more lazy.
Nice.
But yeah, the most sort of bit that I hate about the channel is uploading more than anything. Like I can deal with recording is the most fun. Editing is like, Editing used to be the worst when I had my old processor, because it used to take like 3 hours to record, like, encode a 20-minute video. It's horrible.
I was going to say 2-minute video. Wow, 3 hours. That's horrible.
And I encode like maybe not 3 videos a day, but when I'm encoding, it is like a bunch of videos at once. And sort of I'd have to leave it on overnight. I actually wrote a batch file that would turn off my computer once this thing was done. So, you know, because nowhere isn't. You think for an encoder they'd have like this available option for it to like shut down the computer when you're done, but no, and no one's made like a mod or a program to do it. So I had to go out, learn how to use batch files, and write my own. But now I don't even have to, because it takes about the length of the video to encode a video. So that's pretty good.
What tools do you use to record and all that fun stuff?
I use Fraps and Premiere Pro and Premiere Video Encoder for just Adobe Video Encoder for that part of the encoding process. So yeah, Premiere Pro, I think it's CS4 or 5, Fraps, and the encoding program that comes bundled with that software.
So I know we've had this discussion before, but I just want everybody to know. I'm gonna give you crap here. So you actually record your mic audio through Fraps, right?
Yeah, I do.
I'm shaking my head at you right now.
It's because I with Audacity I don't know it that great. Fraps is just really easy. Press one button and it's done. Like I can do a quick sound check at the beginning, and it's all sort of come out fine. Like I've never really had any complaints about sound. Any issues that I've had with sound were never Fraps' fault. So, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, I mean, it's whatever works. For me, like, I know a lot of people have, like, your microphone's pretty good. So I know a lot of people who don't have very good microphones or have background noise that they have to edit out. And you can't do any of that through like, your Fraps audio. You have to do it, like, you'd have to have your own mic channel. And that's what a lot of people do. So, you know, if it works for you, it works for you.
Well, yeah, I think Fraps actually has the option for multi-channel recording, doesn't it? But it just doesn't work for some reason. So I'm hoping in some new releases that they'll actually sort of implement it so it works.
Yeah, I actually went and checked. I was kind of curious if it did multi-channel. I went and I looked, and it was like, oh, it's already been set to multi-channel all this time, and it's never worked. Great.
Yeah. So what do you use? I've never actually asked you. What do you use, man?
I use Sony Vegas 11. I'm sorry, not 11, 10. I use, of course, Audacity. I use Fraps. I sometimes use DxTory and, oddly enough, XSplit for just the occasional, like for DS games. I'll use XSplit for screen capturing. And I know Bandicam would probably be another good option for that.
Well, I actually tried using Sony Vegas once, and it just doesn't work for me. I think a lot of people are gonna like. If anyone who watches this and like gives a crap about editing software, they're gonna be like, "Oh, why do you use Premiere Pro?" But you know,
no, there's nothing wrong with Premiere Pro. I mean, I know several people actually use it, and it's pretty good.
Really? The general internet opinion of Premiere Pro is like not good.
Okay, if you told me you used
Windows Movie Maker,
Windows Movie Maker, yeah, then I would, yeah, but no, there's nothing wrong with Premiere Pro.
I think if I used Vegas, I'd have sort of less encoding times and stuff. I think it doesn't use a separate program for encoding either, does it?
No, it doesn't.
You just kind of save and it goes. But how long does it take to encode in Vegas?
Well, typically if I do a 1080 video, it usually takes about twice the length of the. Well, see, this gets into like what kind of computer do you have and stuff like that. But for me, I have an i5 2500K. It takes about twice the length of the video to encode, and really it depends on what kind of special effects you put into it. So Now for my Persona series that I just came out with, that's actually 720, and it takes about the same time, if not longer, because I put in a lot of special effects and do a lot more with those videos.
Yeah, I think that's probably where my fast encoding comes in, because I think I have an i5-3570K or something like that. So I think I'm a little bit speedy. So yeah, I don't think it would matter too much which I used, really. I think I'd have the same sort of encoding times. But I read somewhere that Vegas was better for it. But, whatever.
And, it depends on what kind of video card you have, because NVIDIA, I believe there is some sort of way where you can get Vegas to actually use your video card to also encode. Like, so you can get both your processor and your video card to work. I don't remember what it was called. Like, maybe, I'd even throw out the name for it, but there is a way to get your video card to help you encode.
Okay, well, yeah, I have tried Vegas. It's just, I don't know, it just seems, it probably isn't clunky when you know what you're doing, but for someone who hasn't used it before for anything spectacular, it's just like clunky. It's, I don't know, doesn't work for me. I
should try Premiere Pro, because I actually use After Effects, Adobe After Effects, a whole lot, and I'm curious how similar they are.
Not that much. I've opened After Effects and I'm like, hey, what the bloody hell is this?
That's kind of weird, though. Like, why wouldn't they make the two products similar? Maybe
because they do different things,
But I know somebody who actually uses After Effects for their video, like, editing. Like, that's what they use.
They're meant to be used in conjunction, though. That's the thing. You're meant to have, like, both open. If you want to, like, head out and do an effect or something, you just put it straight into... You can open the same project in After Effects. I think if you're using After Effects a lot, yes, you probably should be using Premiere Pro, because then you can just switch between the two. You don't have to like render effects and then export them and then put them in. You can just like take the project file across into Premiere from After Effects and stuff. So the integration is awesome. Like, between the two.
That sounds hot.
I just have no idea how to use it. I think Premiere Pro is a good sort of mix between the two, maybe. That might be a good way to put it, because I think a lot of what I don't understand about Vegas looks very similar to what I don't understand about After Effects. It's all, but yeah, if you decide to switch and you want some help, I'm your man.
Well, if you decide to switch and you need some help, I'm your man.
I think you'd have a better chance of figuring out Premiere than I did with Vegas. So like, it's just like if you needed small things. Anyway, This is getting awfully personal for an interview.
No.
Hey man, let's make some plans. Where everyone can hear us.
Okay, so moving on. Let's see here. What's the next question? God, I'm getting so distracted. Okay, so what's your favorite LP and why?
Of mine?
Of yours, yes.
God, I don't know, man. It's tough to say. I think of GTA so fondly because of the game, but at the same time, thinking about it, I'm like, ugh, because I had some computer troubles and I've lost the save, so I have to like work from a later point in the game back up to where I was to like even carry on with where I left off. I do want to carry on GTA. I just have to get around to doing that.
I think a lot of people have had that problem where they lose a save and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, I think it's definitely... I really, really do want to finish it, and I think I probably will eventually, but it's not going to be anytime soon. Because you know what it's like when there's a game that you absolutely love, you play the hell out of it, and then you're just kind of like, meh. And then you kind of go ahead, and then like a few months later, you'll be like, wow, I really want to play this game. I'm waiting for that feeling to come back around, really, for that.
Actually, I have that exact feeling right now with Lost Odyssey. When I first recorded it, I had like 0 views on half of these videos, and I had like 20 or 30 up. So I was like, man, no one's watching this, and I'm doing 2 of the Let's Plays. So, and now somebody's watching it now, and they're going through and commenting and everything, and I'm like, I'm going back, and I'm like, what are they talking about? So I have to go back and rewatch these old episodes I made, and I'm watching it again, I'm like, oh man, I'm so excited to play this game again. So I'm thinking about picking it back up.
One thing that I've noticed is, even talking about this, I'm like, hey, I might go play some GTA when we're done here. One thing I've noticed is, you don't actually realize who's watching what until you stop doing it. Like, I got a couple of guys who are like, hey, when are you going to restart GTA, man? Like, we're watching this stuff. We're waiting for it to come back. And like Tony Hawk's as well. I let Tony Hawk's Underground 2 sort of fizzle out a bit. I've recorded the last 2 episodes in the last couple of days, but this one guy was like, hey, I'd really like to see you finish this game, you know, because you just kind of finished off in Australia and didn't go anywhere. So yeah, I didn't realize that people were actually watching these series.
Yeah, there's the silent people who never leave comments, and then whenever you quit, they'll say something.
Yeah, you know, but don't diss them because they're good guys. Like, they're actually watching our videos.
No. I'm not dissing them at all. Actually, I just got a message from somebody on Reddit asking, "Hey, it's been a month since you released a quirky video. Where's it at?"
Oh wow, nice, man. I love it when that sort of thing happens. It really sort of, if at any point you're kind of like, hey, this channel's taking its toll a little bit. It's things like that you're like, hey, this is what I do the channel for.
Yeah, and you know, it made me, you know, after this interview, I was just like, all right, I'm going to finally finish this next quirky video. I want to do it. So it definitely helps having those people.
Yeah. I got one guy actually, I remember, I just dropped a pair of scissors. I remember in your first episode of this podcast, you were talking about how you got one fan who always comments on your video. I don't
lucky
have
number 85.
That, but there's this one guy called Rob. I'm not going to give away his second name, but he doesn't have a YouTube account, but he always emails me and like tells me what he likes, what he's been enjoying, gives me a little tip on the game that I'm playing. Like, I love this guy. He's great. Haven't heard from him in a little while, but he'd always email me like every once in a while, just letting me know how he was getting on and stuff. That was great.
That is pretty cool. So it's just a random. It's not a friend or anything.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
Never met this guy in my life. Never spoken to him other than through email. That's the other thing. I'm more than happy to, going back to personal information, I'm more than happy for people to have my, well, it's not my email, it's an email address that they can contact me on if they need anything or they want to ask me some stuff. Like, MARIOCATGAMING@gmail.com. Want to send me an email? There you go. More than happy. Love to hear from you.
Sign them up for Nambla.
Please don't. Nobody signed me up for anything.
Sign them up for all the things.
Oh, God.
You'll regret this.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I kind of half regret having that email address out there, but at the same time, it's not linked to anything important, so, you know.
Yeah, and that's why you create it like that, because it's, you know, it's just there strictly for LPing and whatever horrible things people decide to do to your email account.
Yeah, it's nice to have somewhere for people like Rob to email me to. I'd like it if more people did, but hey ho.
I'll email you.
Ah.
What is another question? But yeah, I'll email you. All right. So, how did your 100 subscriber celebration turn out?
Really good, actually. As you well know, as you keep saying, I bribed people to subscribe to me.
It's true. It's totally true. It's just like, oh, you hit 100 subs. That's awesome. Here's 50 more from bribing them.
No. I lost loads of them, actually. I
wasn't going to bring that up, but since you brought it up.
No, I know. I know that's how a lot of people might feel about this, but I do want to talk about it in an open forum. I wanted to give back to my subs. So I held a competition, and obviously that little greedy part of me went, hey, if more people sub to me, I might get a little bit more attention. So, that's kind of how it went. And, a lot of people did come from nowhere and sort of sign up, and a lot of those people have actually now left. But I don't want this to be like, hey, I like to think of this obvious crime like this, but this is how I really do see it. I see it as more, the way that I say it makes it sound really douchey as well, but I like to see it as incentivizing giving me a chance. Like, if someone comes to my channel, they're like, hey, free stuff, might as well sign up. There's also a chance of them maybe taking a look at my videos, just having a look around, like, you know, why not?
I totally agree, and I wouldn't feel bad about doing it. Like, I like to give you crap, but there's nothing wrong with it. You know, we all have to do what we got to do to, you know, advertise our content, and it's just one way of doing it.
Yeah, well, that's that. But, I also did feel bad halfway through thinking, well, I actually started off doing this as a way to give back to my subs, and I'm now doing it, like, opening it up to whoever wants to come along. So I went out and bought 4 copies of, like, a bundle, the basement bundle, and I just gave those to people that I knew, like people who commented a lot. I chose them myself, and gave those out. So yeah, I did give back to my subs in the end.
Aw, what a nice guy.
Talking about giveaways and stuff, actually, I am going to be doing, I said about reviews as well. I'm going to be emailing developers that I want to review their games to see if, one, if it's cool with them, because obviously YouTube has a lot lot of rules about what you can and can't use. I think it'd just be nicer to have an email saying, yes, you can review our games. But at the same time, I'm going to slip in a cheeky question asking if they might give me some keys to give away. And I already have one for Towns, which I'm overly excited about. I've already started writing my review. So yeah, I'm going to be doing more giveaways, but they're not going to be like, hey, subscribe to me. They're just going to be more like, hey, here's a discussion topic. Leave an email below and the best one will get the keys, like, you know.
That's really awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, the developer for Towns, like, I'm just going to plug his game, like, out of the blue. The developer for Towns is a great guy. Like, he's really not really famous because the game is still quite small, but people who know about him as a developer know that he's like one of these good guys, sort of indie developers that sort of like, you know how there's like a certain type of developer who's like, hey, well, if someone's pirating my game, at least they're playing it. He's like one of those sort of guys. And like,
that's pretty awesome.
And I basically emailed and said, hey, I want to review your game. Here's my channel. I don't suppose if you're comfortable with it, I could have a key maybe for the game to give away as part of the review. And like, he didn't have to trust me. He looks at my channel. I got 150 subs. Like, anyone can do that, like, in a little while, right? He didn't have to trust me, and he just did. Like, you know,
even I can do it. Jesus.
Yeah, for all he knows, I could have just been any old guy asking for a free copy of his game, but he decided to trust me, and I think it's good. And I hope to give him a good enough review. Critical, admittedly. There's a few things I do have to say about the game that aren't top of the range, but yeah, I hope to give him a good review, and hopefully we'll get a bit of traffic going both ways.
That's really cool, man. That is a really good idea.
Also, I recorded a lot of footage pre this interview of the game. I'm having a lot of fun, sort of not just sitting in front of a computer and sort of mindlessly playing a game. I'm having a lot of fun thinking about it, sort of deciding what I do and don't like. Like, if I could develop, what would I do differently about this? What would I change? It is really interesting to look at a game critically when you haven't really done it on purpose before.
You're making me want to start doing that now.
Hold some reviews, man. Seriously, it's fun. Like, I haven't actually done it like 100% yet, but I'm like sort of 10% in, and it's really fun.
You should totally do it. And once you're finally done with the first one, you're just like, oh, Curtis, don't ever do this.
Don't try it.
It's terrible.
It is going to be a lot of work because it's going to be heavy editing. Because obviously, like, if I'm making a point, I need to put some footage in the background that illustrates my point. And like, it's going to be recording on Audacity, not recording live. I've already recorded an hour and a half's worth of footage. I'm pretty sure I'm only going to be using 2 minutes of it so far, and I still need more footage to illustrate other parts of the game. But yeah, I'm having fun. It's going to be good. And like, obviously, the other thing about a giveaway is so much fun because you do get to talk to people. Like, you get to talk to people who are watching your videos, and you get, like, I've had to add a few people on Steam to give away gift. Like, this one is a key, so I don't have to add anyone, but having to add people on Steam and have a chat with them has been quite fun. Like, I had the bonus question in my last giveaway that said, hey, if you wanted to see more of this channel, what would you want to see from me? And a lot of people decided to respond. I didn't think I was going to get many, but a lot of people said, hey, well, you could do this. You could think about streaming. I like this a lot. I like what you're doing with this. It's really good. Like, I don't know. It was just a load of fun, man. Like, it's, and like, you can't, I think, I'm quite lucky to have not had people who were like, oh, hey, you're just doing this to get subs. But you've got to remember, I lost money on that. I'm not making any money from my channel at all. And I lost money, so, you know, it's not like I'm the bad guy. I don't think you can make out people who do that sort of thing to be a bad guy. I totally went away from the point, didn't I?
Well, yeah, I'm like, where did we start off? I'm trying to find the original question. No,
100 sub celebration. So yeah, it is relevant. I kind of came back to the beginning.
Actually, part of that conversation reminded me of something else I'd meant to ask, but I didn't actually write down. So I noticed, and I'm gonna start making this a regular question for those of you listening that I may interview in the future, just so you know.
Hey, I got one as well that you don't have on your list of regulars.
Okay.
Why did you start the channel? Why don't you have that?
Oh yeah, well, that's actually a pretty good question.
Should we save it for the end?
Yeah, that's actually a good ending question because my last question would really suck for the ending.
Anyway, your question that you wanted to ask me and you didn't ask me.
I noticed you have enabled monetization on some of your videos, and I'm just curious what your thought process was for doing that.
This is going to tie into your last question quite a lot, because it's actually my dream to be doing sort of a gaming channel for a living. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to be the next Yogscast or the next PewDiePie or anyone, but if I was, then I could die happy. Like, this is actually like my dream job. So I got to start somewhere. Like, I'm gonna get some flack for monetization somewhere. So might as well start early. And at the same time, like, at the moment, I'm quite comfortable the way I'm living, so I don't actually need any money. So any money that I do make from the channel will be put back into the channel at the moment. Like, I won't start taking money from the channel until I need it.
You probably put money into the channel, like getting a different mic and stuff like that already. So
yeah, like I've already spent sort of probably around £500 sort of upgrading my computer just so I can record and edit comfortably. So, you know.
About how long you think it'll take to get all that money back, huh?
A long time.
10 years?
It is my dream to have a large channel, basically, and I don't think anything is gonna stop me from keeping trying. Like, I'm always trying to think of ways to promote and stuff, and I'm not doing it because I want money, but obviously everyone always says, hey, well, you should do a job that you enjoy. And I haven't enjoyed anything as much as I'm enjoying this in a long time. Like, I've met so many nice people. I've had so much fun recording, get to play loads more games than I normally would, because I'd usually stick to like the same old game, and I guess it's sort of built up my confidence as a person as well, because, you know, you're talking to yourself, you got to get over some personal reservations there. It's been a lot of fun. So that is why I want to make money from my channel, because one day I hope to live off of it.
I believe a lot of people have that aspiration. I do as well, actually.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to happen, or, you know, I'm expecting it. I'm really not expecting it to happen, but it's no secret that is my aspiration with the channel, is for it to be a job.
I guess my side of that is that, you know, I've worked in the IT industry for 10 years, and I actually don't like it. I don't like what I do. And so living off my channel would be awesome, because I love video games. And as I've said, I think in the first podcast, I would love waking up in the morning and not having to put pants on and just get in front of the computer. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but still, like, just fucking awesome working from home.
Yeah. So I guess a lot of people who
records with their pants on? Come on, really?
Me. I feel really uncomfortable recording without trousers.
Whatever, Englishman.
I'm sat here wearing tracksuit bottoms.
Okay, so who's your favorite LPer?
Who is my favorite LPer? He's not very big. He's this small guy. His name is Sparhawk.
Never heard of him.
No, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite sub. I think most people are subscribed to the Yogscast, and I think they were sort of what brought me into subscribing to people on YouTube in the first place, like back when they were really good. But obviously now I think a lot of people are realizing that they're sort of going downhill a bit. They're still funny guys. They're still like nice guys as well. I really like them, but I think their content is lacking. They're going back towards what they like as opposed to what their viewers like. Like, they're doing more sort of RPGs and MMOs and stuff. They're going back to that. And I like them for Minecraft. And, you know, I'm bored of Minecraft videos as well now. So the Yogscast is sort of losing interest for me. But I'm still with them a bit. So they got me into the YouTube. But I haven't really properly enjoyed an LPer for a long time, a long time. And then recently I started watching the Game Grumps. I mentioned them earlier, and they have had me in tears with some of their videos. Like, they are so funny. So I think if I had to say who are my favorite LPers, it would be JonTron and Egoraptor, because, man, those guys are funny.
I'm gonna have to watch Game Grumps. I haven't yet.
Yeah, their videos follow sort of two styles. They either are being complete idiots because there's not much to talk about in the game, and that is what has you in tears, or they actually have a really good knowledge of the game. They actually know a hell of a lot about the industry, because I think they're like friends with quite a few people, because obviously they're both quite big guys in the game, like, and yes, they're either really informative or really funny, or both at the same time. So yeah, they're really good.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm definitely gonna have to look up their videos because I've heard game reps mentioned many times now. So I just watch Jontron stuff. I don't know a whole lot about Egoraptor. I know some of his work.
Watch some of his work as well, because that's really funny. Like, if you want to be really entertained, I'd say watch their Pokemon Let's Play, because even though Pokemon is a terrible game to Let's Play and it's really boring, they're actually like just having these stupid conversations the whole way through. And there's a couple of episodes. The Pokemon one had me in tears more than anything. So,
so for somebody who's never played a Pokemon game, would that be a good series to watch? Because I've never played a Pokemon game.
I suppose, yeah, because then you'll have interest as well, because you won't know what's happening, like on top of the fun of them.
So, but is it actually informative?
Not so much, but it's
I'll be lost.
Pokemon is really, really simple. You're used to like RPG combat, and it's like very similar to that.
Well, I mean, I know the basics of Pokemon. I'm like, there's no way you can be on the internet, at this.
Yeah.
Like,
I say that they're not informative. I think Egoraptor is actually like, how can I say this without using the cliche Pokemon master? I think he's been in some competitive matches of Pokemon before, and he does know a hell of a lot about like what he's talking about and stuff. I think you can draw a lot from his work, knowing that he's quite into like anime and stuff. So I'm pretty sure he watched the series, like the animated series. So yeah, he does know a lot about what he's talking about. They just don't tend to talk about it that much.
I don't know how I feel about somebody who could say that they were a Pokemon master.
I wanna be the very best.
Okay, so last question. What got you into LPing?
Well, it's my dream, Spa. What got me into LPing? I think I touched on it earlier, where I've always wanted to do it. Like, since I think the Yogscast... It really annoys me when people are like, oh, the Yogscast are the best channel in the world, like, they're so good, but I'm kind of doing it right now. Because when they were good, they really got me interested in YouTube in general. And then from just having YouTube to subscribe to them so I could see their videos like as they came out, I sort of started to span out into other videos, other channels, started learning about partnership. And when I heard that these people like Captain Sparkles, the Yogscast, had a job doing this, like I was already thinking, wow, this would be a really great hobby. This looks like loads of fun. And then I was like, these people are employed to do this. I was just like, yeah, I'm doing this. One day I'm doing this. And then sort of, as school was coming to an end recently, I didn't really have any plans for the rest of my life. I don't really have a job. I don't really have one lined up just yet. Thought, well, now's the perfect time. Why not? So, I just started up. I never really planned it, but I always sort of had it in the back of my mind to do. I never was like, hey, I'm going to call it this and I'm going to do this, that and the other, but I always just wanted to do it. And I just sort of jumped in head first and went from there. And we're still kind of in that stage. I still don't really have a plan of what I'm going to do with it. So, yeah, that's why I got into LPing.
LPing, the noble profession.
It ain't a profession yet.
Hey, for some people it is.
Yeah, that's true, but not for me. Not yet.
You can't put that on your resume.
I bet if you're making like a profit, like a regular wage from it, I bet you can.
Yeah,
because you're self-employed.
I thought about this for a little while.
Yeah, and me.
Huh?
And me. I was thinking, what if they... I was specifically thinking about the Yogscast. I was like, what if they want another job? What are they going to write? That they were like one of the biggest channels on YouTube for like a year and a half.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, you send that to like a future employer, and they're going to go out on YouTube and they're going to watch some of your videos. And, it's just like, do you really want somebody watching these videos? Like, is it something that, you want like a serious employer to see? I guess it depends on who you want to be employed by, like what the company is, but I don't know.
My feeling is that I don't think an employer could find my channel just yet, So at the moment, I'm not too worried about it.
Well, I'm talking about like for Yogscast, not for us. Like, there's no way I would like.
Yeah, this is what I mean. If it ever gets to the point where this is a job, I don't think it's ever going to stop being a job, Or it'll lead into other things that don't require a resume, if you will. Like I would a lot of, I said that I wanted to go into TV and stuff. A lot of that is just from word of mouth and stuff. They don't often hire through CVs because a lot of it is experience. And like, if someone was like, hey, this guy was a great runner, do you want him to come be a runner on your show? And then they were like, yeah, sure, I know you really well. You wouldn't give me a bad guy to work with. And then I'll just be like, yeah, do you want this job? So that's kind of how it works in TV. And I suppose I'm hoping to meet people along the way, not necessarily in television and movies and stuff, but in similar professions to this that can sort of give me something to do. So yeah, I'm hoping to never have to even think about what I'm going to put on my CV when it gets to it.
So Jeff, do you have any more questions? No, Curtis. Oh, any other questions? I'm a dumbass.
I'm a jackass. Sounds like King of the Hill.
Well, I don't know there, Bobby.
That's a pretty good impression.
I'm okay at impressions, other than when I'm asked to do them.
All right, so anyway, we're going to call it an episode. So everybody, thank you very much for listening. Lewis, thank you very much for your hour and 48 minutes we're currently at.
Yeah, I'm never going to bloody get it back, am I?
Nope. You're getting nothing out of this,
No.
too.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks again, man. And anyway, I will talk to you guys later.
Bye now.
Sour cream white. Adam Sandler. I feel like sour cream playing this game because I'm so white.